Hey guys, Sean Terry here. What is up? Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to deliver. I'm going to show you exactly how we have generated over $573,000 in the last 45 days by doing deals nationally all across the country. I'm also gonna give you our 2 free coveted national These 2 documents are responsible, plus obviously a team of people and deals we're doing for going out there and enabling us to crush it nationally across the country, wholesaling houses. So I'm gonna get into an 8-step process and show you each step on exactly what we're doing. I'm not gonna hold anything back. I'm gonna give you actually addresses of properties that we have closed and completed. $30,000, $100,000 deals that we have done across the country. And we're gonna show you the process at each step. I'm actually gonna show you our best marketing method that we're getting motivated sellers calling us from all across the country. Okay, so we've got a ton of stuff we're gonna cover. So if you could do me a favor, if you could turn off Facebook, turn off the TV, close the door, focus with me here for this short period of time. It will be worth your time. At the end, I'm gonna give you a link where you can download this free document, free information. But I've got a ton of stuff to cover. I'm gonna talk about the prediction of what's gonna happen here in 2021, 2022, what's gonna happen in the market with this pending foreclosures and this unemployment and all this uncertainty that's happening in the market. We're gonna talk all about that. And I'm gonna give you a business model that you can grasp onto. I know, I've been doing real estate for the last 17 years, and I grasped on the business model. Should I do lease options? Should I do fix and flip? Should I do wholesaling? Should I do apartment building? Should I do, seller financing with, subject to deals? And, you have all these different business models that you look at. Which ones will actually work and which ones won't? Which ones will work? Now, I can tell you, and I'm gonna get into exactly what we're gonna cover, and we're gonna answer some really big questions that people are asking. So if you're ready to focus, if you're ready to get started, if you're ready to crush it, I'm gonna cut through all the garbage. I'm gonna get right to the point. We're gonna give you some concrete, specific, actionable steps. My goal is through the end of this, so you can spend time here and make it absolutely worth it, so you can get concrete, actionable steps that you can take, that you can go out and generate revenue tomorrow. That is my mission, so you can take the information and go out and apply it. So let's answer these questions right here. Number 1, why is the real estate market on fire right now? Why is the real estate market on fire? People are like, what the heck's going on, man? We're in a pandemic, COVID cases are rising. Why the heck is the real estate market on fire? And is it cooling? There are signs of it's cooling, and we'll talk about what's gonna happen here. So will the real estate market crash in 2021? We'll talk about some different statistics and numbers. We're gonna talk about the real estate default tsunami, which in my opinion is probably one of the greatest opportunities of a real estate investor's lifetime right now. If you happen to be watching this right now, if you happen to be, you got an email and you clicked on it and you logged on and you're with me right now, if you happen to be watching this right now, I can tell you don't go anywhere, because there is a reason why you're here, and I can tell you what's coming. If you can get in front of what's coming, the real estate default tsunami, it literally can be absolutely game-changing for you, life-changing for you. I know real estate for me was life-changing for me. So how to make $775,457 from the 2.9 million foreclosures that are about to hit the market. I'm actually gonna share what our #1 best marketing strategy is. I'm actually gonna take you in the online campaign and show you real results of where over the last years I've spent millions of dollars on this campaign and perfected it. And I'm gonna share it with you today. I'm also gonna talk about what is the best real estate investing business model during a shifting market. And we literally day trade properties nationally. We day trade properties all across the country. You know, day trading, you're in and out of stocks, very quickly. Swing trading, you're in and out of stocks in days. We're literally in and out of properties in a matter of days with huge amount of profit. So that's what we're gonna talk about. Now, people go, well, I've been online, I've seen these guys and they're talking, I've been on YouTube, and maybe I clicked the link on YouTube and you saw me here. The bottom line is, you want proof. What is actual, real proof? And I'm gonna show you proof, and I'm gonna show you example properties. I'm gonna show you actually people that have followed what we're talking about, actual proof. Here's an example right here. I actually just took a screenshot of my bank account from wires coming in into the account. Look on the right-hand side there, you can see $148,000 wire. These are assignment fees from deals that we have completed in the last handful of days. $148,000, $25,000, $120,000, $23,000, $14,000, $25,000, $4,500, smallest deal, $27,000, $17,000, $100,000, $39,60, $11,150. These are deals that have come in the last 45 days. Just exactly what I'm about to show you right now. See, you might be online and you might, see these guys and they're talking about, most of them don't do real estate. Most of them don't do deals. Most of them don't do an operation. All they do is teach. They don't actually do it. This is real live proof. And I'm gonna show you the real live proof of example deals, and obviously you saw wires. These aren't wires from doing educational courses and teaching education. I don't have family members doing this stuff. I'm actually doing deals. I'm the one actually going out there with my team. Now, I've got a team of people. Now, I want to give full credit to my team. I've got some incredible team members, some disposition people, some acquisition people. These guys are rock stars. And I am blessed to have them hang their hat under our working with me and on the team. So I can tell you, it's not all me. Believe me, these guys are better than me. I've hired people better than me that absolutely crush it, but they follow a system that I have created that they can implement to generate deals and do deals all across the country. So I want to give them a shout out. All right, so if you don't know me, I'm gonna go real quick through this. The bottom line is I am a God-loving family man of two beautiful daughters, one 22 and 17, happily married now for the last 24 years. I gotta update this or my wife's gonna kill me. Flipping houses now for the last 17 years, have transacted well over now $300 million in transactions, currently flip over 25 deals a month nationally all across the country. I launched a podcast back in 2010 just because I like, my passion is real estate. I love real estate and I love teaching. So I launched a podcast in 2010, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to start a podcast. I just kind of talked into a microphone and put it out on iTunes, and it literally blew up to 12 million, over 13 million listeners now in 196 different countries. That turned into a online education courses with 9 best-selling courses, over 20,000 members plus. best-selling author, and I do what I teach. We do deals nationally, but also invest in passive income deals, own 760 student housing units across the country, and live in Phoenix and Dana Point, and I just sold my California house because California's getting crazy, so had that for years. So here's the thing. When I was 33 years old, I was broke and I was living month to month. And I was sitting home at bed at night, and I thought I should have been further along in life than I was. I felt bad about myself. I was like, what am I doing? I'm 33. And at the time, my wife was pregnant and we had my first daughter, and that literally changed everything. Alexa, 22 years old now. And that was back in 2003. And in 2003, that was a life-changing moment because I was like, man, I gotta grow up. What the heck am I doing? And I had a job at the time where I was selling pools and landscaping. And I go to people's house and I draw out a pool and I design some landscaping. I didn't like what I did. I had a boss that was, he kind of fixed the numbers, and I really didn't get paid what I thought I was gonna get paid, and I thought I was gonna get this commission, but didn't really get that commission, and and it sucked, and I was 33, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with my life? What am I gonna do? Now, you gotta understand that at that time, and I didn't have a college education. I spent 4 years in the United States Marine Corps, so for all you veterans out there, hoorah, if you're a United States Marine, and I'm a veteran. I went over to war in Saudi Arabia, the first Gulf War, and love veterans. But the bottom line is I didn't have a college education. I was a veteran. I didn't really know anything about real estate. Never really owned or bought a house at the time. My credit sucked because I had money that was, I didn't have a bunch of money. I always had money that came in and out. And I didn't really ever have a career or a job or something that, that I could, really dive into and blow up. I didn't have it, really couldn't do it. So I found myself at 33 completely living month to month, frustrated, broke, wanting more. And here's the thing, I was the self-help guy. I read the self-help books. I read Think and Grow Rich. I read Napoleon Hill. I read, all these other different books from, what do they have? Like How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read these books, and I'd be like, oh yeah, can you do it? But then what? There was no business model. I was motivated, but what do? Think and Grow Rich, you gotta visualize. And I'm like, maybe that's how I'm here, I don't know. But the bottom line is I found myself in a tough situation. Maybe you're the same way. Maybe you've been online and you've been looking for something to do and you want to get in real estate, but you had the skepticism like I did. I didn't have a great credit score. I didn't have a bank full of cash where I could buy a house and renovate it and fix it up and make it look pretty. I didn't have that wherewithal to be able to do that. So what was I gonna do? How was I supposed to get involved? What was I gonna do? So I literally did what I could do. I sold pools and landscaping. And this one Saturday afternoon, I was going to a pool and landscaping appointment, and I was driving up the 101 freeway here in Phoenix, Arizona in May of 2003. And I remember I was driving up the freeway and I was flipping through the radio stations and I was trying to figure out something to listen to. I was looking for some sort of sports on, but there's no sports in May, but except baseball, right? If there's baseball. And I flipped across this radio station. It's 1510 KFNN. It's at a financial news radio station here in Phoenix, and it's like an AM radio. And I listened to it, and this guy was on there on Saturday, and he must have bought some time, and he was talking about how you could flip houses. And in my understanding of flipping houses was you buy a house, you fix it, and you sell it. That's probably the extent, and I didn't know a lot about flipping houses at that time when I was driving down the freeway going to a pool and landscaping appointment. But he started talking about how you could flip houses and, you can get a house under contract and you can find a buyer and you could turn around and he explained this concept. And this concept, didn't make sense to me. I didn't understand it. And because I didn't understand it, I was skeptical. Now, I grew up in New England, back in the East Coast, and I grew up with a very skeptical dad that was the devil's advocate, right? He'd pride himself on being the devil's advocate, right? About everything. You tell him about something and he'd find the other side of it. So I could have took on that characteristic, right? So, this guy was telling me about all this stuff, and you can't do that. And this is what I'm telling myself as I'm driving down the freeway going to my job broke, right? And I'm sitting there and he's going, you can't. And he's like, oh, and I was like, you can't do that. You can't buy it. You can't do it. You have to have credit. You have to cash it. And see, here's what happened. Is the guy started having these people, this success stories, and he started telling this story about this lady who got this deal and she made $20,000, right? And another guy that made $10,000 in like less than 30 days doing this concept, this flipping houses thing. And right then and there, I'm like, my BS meter, came up, and it was a false meter. It was my internal meter that was wrong, that internal meter that got me to where I was at. My mind was so closed, it didn't work. Very successful person once said, hey, your mind's like a parachute. If it's not open, it won't work, right? So I was this closed-minded, skeptical, negative, broke person driving down the freeway, going to a job on Saturday that I didn't like. And I had an opinion, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there listening to it, and I actually laugh to myself. I go, what a joke. Who's going to listen to this scam artist? Who's going to listen to this guy who's sitting there talking about all these people making money, flipping houses? What a joke. And I turned the channel back. I turned the channel and started listening, trying to find something else more credible to listen to. How stupid was I? How dumb was I? So what happened was I'm sitting there as I'm driving down the freeway, and I'm a believer in God, and I know to this day it was God's intervention that tapped me on the shoulder or hit me up across the head with a 2x4 and said, listen, idiot, look where you are. Look how you're doing. Look how your bank account is. Look how your life is. Be open. And you know what I did? I turned the channel back, and I continued to listen to what this guy had to say. And I can tell you, he explained this concept that changed my life forever. And I believe it. I thank God every single day, every morning, I thank God. And I thank you so much for allowing me to understand this concept. But this concept I'm going to share with you, this concept I'm going to show you, and I have taken it to an ultra level. The last 17 years, it has changed my life absolutely, completely. And my mission for this call, my mission for this is to share this concept, share this vision of what you can create with your life. I'm gonna eliminate all the obstacles, all the what if this and what if that and what if this doesn't work and how this doesn't work. I'm gonna eliminate all that. And it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your credit score. It doesn't matter right now how much cash you have in your bank account. It doesn't matter your credit worthiness. It doesn't matter if you're educated or not educated, because I'm not. It doesn't matter where you come from, if you come from a silver spoon, if you don't. I don't care if you've come from Detroit in the wherever, or Vermont, or Austin, or Dallas, or California. It doesn't matter anywhere across the country. All that matters is you have an open mind and you listen to what I'm about to tell you, because I'm going to share a concept. I'm going to share a concept that if you understand and grasp onto, it can change your life forever. And I am dead serious. So let's get into it. I'm also going to give you this free gift, because with the concept, you need these. This is a real estate purchase contract to do deals nationally. And this is an assignment contract to get paid. And we're going to talk about how to use this contract to get paid, how to use this contract to secure deals nationally, and we're going to show you exactly how to use this paperwork right here, with this concept to literally day trade properties nationally. Okay, so let's get into the market. Let's talk about 2021 real quick, and let's get into our 8-step process. All right, so why is the market on fire? Why is it on fire? First off, number one, inventory drives pricing and demand and perception. Inventory drives everything in real estate. Inventory pretty much drives everything in the economic environment. So inventory. If you have high inventory, prices decrease. If you have low inventory, prices increase. So what happened because of COVID-19, everyone pulled their properties off the marketplace, right? Home builders stopped building. And because the Fed jumped in on an emergency to try to stimulate the economy during an absolute massive shutdown, they lowered interest rates to historic lows. So now you have minimal inventory, you have inventory plummeting, you have the country that's locked down, you have home builders not building, and you have historically low interest rates. And here's the weird thing about this whole pandemic. That was different from 2008. In 2008, in the Great Depression, if you remember the Great Recession, if you remember all that, and when the market crashed and the world was on fire, it was a mess, that impacted pretty much everybody financially, meaning people were, it was a mess. This is a little bit different. You have about, and I don't know the exact percentages, 15, 20% of the marketplace is getting hammered because they're in the restaurant space, they're maybe in the hotel space, they're in other spaces, they're getting hammered by this pandemic. And you get other part of the rest of the population, 60, 70, 80, 90% of the population, this has no problem. They still have their job, everything's fine, everything's going as normal. They might not be going to the office every single day, but they're working remote. So you have this weird, weird part where you got part of the population getting hammered and the rest of the population's fine. But now you take plummeting inventory levels and you got this people that want to buy houses, you have historic low interest rates in the under 3%. This is crazy. And now you create massive demand, and now there's people out there that are bidding up houses. I'll give an example. Look at this right here. This is in 2008 right here. If you see that top square, that is the month supply of houses, inventory. We're talking about inventory. And if you see in 2008, 2009, we got up to roughly about 12 and a half months of supply. It spiked. 12 and a half months of supply. Now, if you look at over here in 2004, it's incredibly low. 2004, 2005, the inventory was at record lows, the market was on fire. If you look at all the way over to the right of the screen in 2020, you see we're at historic low inventory levels. Now, it's slowly starting to tick up, but we have ridiculously low inventory levels we're seeing right now. Now, look at this, existing home sales, right? Existing home sales have increased. Now, it went down in May, went up in June, July, August, September, October, November, and now it's an increase. We have existing home sales that are going like crazy right now. This is why the market is on fire. So here's the next question. Will the market crash? Is it going to continue? Is the real estate market on fire now going to continue? And what is this real estate default tsunami? Is it going to come to fruition? Is it really going to happen? Is there an opportunity there? Well, that's a really good question. So will the market going to crash? Well, if you look at it, you have, tens of millions of people that are unemployed, right? And what we have done is we have kicked the can down the road. Meaning, when it comes to foreclosures, when it comes to evictions, we've stimulated like crazy, give stimulation, we got another stimulation that's coming like crazy. We got the stimulation that's coming, stimulation that's happening, but you still have this massive, massive unemployment rate in the marketplace. This is all gonna come to a head And when it does, we're going to see a massive, what they call default tsunami. So let me give you an example. COVID, when you have a tsunami, what happens is there's an earthquake, an event happens in the middle of the ocean, and then there's a calm, right? Nothing really happens. And what happens, there's building, everything's happening under the water. Thousands of feet deep under the water is just this momentum. It's building, it's building, it's building, and building. And all of a sudden, boom, a wave comes, a tidal wave comes, and bam, it smashes on the shore and creates massive amounts of destruction. So the event, the earthquake that happened is COVID-19 back in March, right? The economy shut down. Millions, tens of millions of people were unemployed. Right now, we're in this calm before the storm. The swell is building. We just haven't seen it yet, but we will. And I'm going to show you where you can position yourself right in front of this, and it literally life-changing. So look at this right here. 21 million people unemployed. 70% are expected to return back to work. 4.9 million are furloughed, and 6.6 dropped out of the workforce. So, so the government reports, and so when all's said and done, what I'm hearing on numbers is 17 to 20 million people will be unemployed when all the dust settles. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of businesses are out of business, where they're not coming back again. But what happens is the unemployment rate is reported by the U.S. government, and they have what's called a U1, I think through it's like U7 or U8 numbers. And a U6 number is the number they report, and that's the number without the people that dropped out of the workforce. And they're reporting like a 6 or 7% unemployment number. But if you add the people that actually stopped looking for jobs, they have literally dropped out of the workforce, it's upwards to 10 to 12%. And those numbers are astronomical. And when all the dust settles, when all the, the businesses don't come back, we're gonna have like 17 to 20 million unemployed people. You have that many unemployed, what happens, you have unemployed people that are in housing that don't pay rent. Now, they haven't paid rent and they haven't paid their mortgage, but that has been kicked down the curb, right? And there's eventual stimulus supposed to come, and it's supposed to be pushed down further, but it will eventually come to a head. And when it comes to a head, there's gonna be a massive amount of foreclosures. But will it impact the real estate market? How's it gonna real estate? We're gonna talk about that here in a second. How's it gonna impact actually pricing of houses? So 30% of Americans have missed their housing payments in June. Amazing. Almost a third of renters have missed their payments this month. Amazing. Mortgage delinquencies caused by the coronavirus will exceed the 2008 Great Recession levels, according to this forecast. Now, if you were around in 2008, if you remember, you literally drove down streets and roads and all you saw was foreclosure, foreclosure, vacant houses, foreclosure, vacant houses. It was tragic, so I hope it doesn't even come close to that. Homeowners stopped paying mortgages in record numbers in April. Serious mortgages default will increase fourfold by mid-2021. Serious mortgage defaults will increase fourfold by mid-2021. So will the real estate market crash? That is the question. Now, I don't think that the real estate market will crash, meaning pricing will crash. I think there'll be a ridiculous opportunity of distressed properties that will hit the market. But if you look at the inventory levels where we are now, we're not even close to where we are on 12 and a half months supply like we were in 2008. We're at historic low levels. Now, those inventory levels will come up and spike, but I think we'll get to normalized levels. So we're not going to see 30, 40, 50%, 60% drop in home prices, but I think we'll see more like this, which you'll see pricing drop. U.S. housing prices dropped 6.6% by May of 2021. First annual decline since January 2012, CoreLogic owner case. So this is most recent headline that's come out. So I don't believe it's gonna, we're gonna have massive drop, but we are gonna have a slight drop. But what we will see is a influx of distressed properties hitting the market. Now, as a real estate investor, our whole thing is distressed properties, right? You look at highly successful real estate investors, developers. I mean, that's how Donald Trump made his fortune, right? He bought distressed properties and he fixed them up and read in the art of the deal. All right, so what is the best business model during the real estate default tsunami? Let's get into it. It's called day trading properties. Day trading properties. Now, if you are familiar, day trading has become a pandemic hobby, I guess you could say. People have been learning to jump into the stock market and learn to buy Tesla and sell Tesla at a high and buy Tesla here and get it before a stock split. Shopify. And you see the stock market hitting all-time record highs and you're like, holy cow, there's people making fortunes in the stock market. I gotta jump in. And I know people taking their pandemic relief check and 600 bucks here, 1,200 bucks here, and they're plowing it into day trading on Robinhood, learning how to trade stocks. The bottom line is, here's the thing, what happens with a stock, right? And when a stock, right, it comes, you lock in a price and you can buy actually options on stocks. And I don't want to give a whole stock thing, right? You can buy options on stocks. And if that stock price goes up, those options are valued more and you can make a profit, right? You buy a stock low, you turn around and you sell a stock high. Here's the problem, right? I think Tesla trades right now at about 620, 630 bucks, somewhere around there, right? After split. But the bottom line is that if you had the opportunity to buy Tesla at $300 a share, right now, would you? You probably would, right? You would have an opportunity. What if there was a distressed seller that owned a bunch of stock and they wanted to sell it, and they wanted to sell it right now, but they wanted to sell it at $300 a share? And the market value was $622 a share. You'd be all over it. You'd be like, whatever, okay, I'll take it. Now, what if you could get a contract to buy those shares at 300, and then you could sell that contract to someone that would pay $400 a share? You'd make $100 a share, right, on each one. If you bought 10,000 shares, you'd make $10,000. That's exactly what we do. But see, here's the problem. You can't do that with stocks. Why? Because of liquidity, right? Stocks are liquid. If a guy wants out of a stock right now and he needs money right now and he's got to sell, all he's going to do is press a button in 30 seconds. He'll sell his stock instantaneously, literally within a matter of seconds. You know, if you've ever traded, you know, bam, you get filled just like that on a market value stock. They have actually a market price. Bam, you can do market price, instant fill. With real estate, there is no instant fill. There is no instant market where you can just bam, put it out there and it instantly happens. We create the liquidity for distressed sellers. We do. This is our job. This is what we do. We create the liquidity. So when a seller has a house and the house is worth $100,000, $200,000, and they need cash now and they want to sell it, but the house is distressed, it's a little beat up, it hasn't been fixed up since 1962, and there's a pipe leak, we can go to someone like us that will sign a contract for $100,000. And then we'll use this contract to sell it to someone else, a cash buyer, for $120,000. And we'll make $20,000 because we had the opportunity, we secured it, and we locked it up. And now we have the ability to turn around and sell it for $20,000, right? $20,000. Bam! That is day trading houses. We create the liquidity. Now, here's the thing. To do this, you don't need a real estate license. You don't need a real estate license to do it. You're working on your own behalf. A realtor represents buyers and sellers. So they have to know exactly what they're doing. They have to be licensed and they have to be governed by the board of realtors. They are actually representing a buy and sell, a buyer and a seller in a transaction. We're not representing anybody but ourselves. We don't have to represent a buyer or seller. We're acting on our own behalf. That means we don't have to have a real estate license. And this can be done anywhere in the United States. The only place we don't do business is Illinois. Illinois, you have to have a real estate license to do business. So we don't do deals in Illinois, unfortunately, because Illinois, Chicago is a great place to do deals, right? Now, we could partner with a realtor there if we wanted, but we don't want to do that, right? So we don't do deals there. So you don't need a real estate license. You can do deals all across the country except Illinois, okay? Now, here's a normal business, right? You have a house and a seller wants to sell a house. 95% of the people that you and I know, friends, family, relatives, coworkers, the market, if they have a house and they want to sell it, they're gonna go on Facebook and say, hey, do you have any realtor friends that you know that you can refer me to? I'm gonna sell my house. Who's a good realtor? You're gonna look around online. You're gonna try to find home prices. You're gonna go on Zillow, and you're gonna try to find home price. You're gonna try to do something, right, to get your house sold. So you're gonna call a realtor or do something, right? So what happens is most people, 95% in a normalized market, will list their house with a realtor. There's about 5% of the people in the market that's distressed. And distressed means the house is trashed, it's a fire damage deal, the house had a tenant in it that trashed it, it hasn't been updated, it's been inherited, it's a code violation, there's financial difficulties, maybe there's a divorce situation and they just want to get rid of the house. Maybe they got transferred, they don't want to pay 2 mortgages, right? We got a house in Frisco, Texas, where the seller moved to England and they're like, I'm done with the United States. She moved to England, I just want to sell my house. We got the property under contract for, it's a $450,000 house, got under contract for $250,000 and sold it for $30,000 more, for $280,000. So that is distressed sellers. Again, we create liquidity because otherwise she had to list it and put it on the market and have people show it and then clean up the house. And she had to go through all those steps involved to list and sell a house. Now, this real estate default tsunami, what I believe that's going to happen here in the second, third, fourth quarter of 2021 is that there's going to be a massive influx of distressed properties. So now the new numbers look like this. We have a selling with a realtor, right? 85%, where it's going to triple the amount of distressed properties that are hitting in the market. Triple the amount of distressed properties. So let me tell you this. I can tell you right now, we're marketing right now. We get about 600 leads coming in a week nationally all across the entire country. I've got 5 salespeople on the phone constantly all day long talking to sellers, and they're getting properties under contract right now. And I can tell you the influx, the wave of people calling us is like I've never seen before in 17 years. And if you're not in it, you're missing it. It is like I've never seen. There's an influx coming like crazy. The wave has started. The tsunami is starting. And I'm telling you, it's going to triple, quadruple, even more. If you don't have a line in the ocean, if you don't have your line in the ocean, you're not going to catch any fish, right? If you're not in the game, you're going to miss the boat. This, my friends, is how to get in the game. So what happens is you get a property under contract for $200, right? You turn around and sell it for $210. You sign it, you sell it. Guess what? Your name goes on this check right here, $10,000. That's yours by doing that. You don't need cash. You don't need credit, right? You don't need, have your credit pulled. You don't need that. You don't need a real estate license. You don't need to be smart. You just got to follow a system. You just got to follow a blueprint, follow a plan that works. Here's proof. So I got this deal, 1122 East Amherst Lane, Deer Park, Texas. That's the address. Now, I warn you, don't look it up on Zillow, okay? You got to look it up in the tax records like REI Automator. I think there's like PropStream out there, some other things out there. Look it up in the tax records because what Zillow does is pull properties from the MLS. They pull from the MLS. So we had a guy in a live one night and he's like, oh, this property's not on Zillow. This property's not on Zillow. Well, of course, dude. The property pulls from the MLS. This is an off MLS deal. It's actually in the county tax records if you look in like REI Automator or something like that. So let's get back to it. This property right here, 1122 East Amherst Lane, Deer Park, Texas. Seller calls us. We got the property under contract for $108,000. Turned around and sold it, assigned it with this contract for $147,000, $39,000 profit. Here's another one, 12208 North Atkins Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri. This is one of the fastest deals. We literally turned this deal around in a matter of, I think it was like 9 days, 9 days. Contract price, $71,200, sold price, $107,000, $35,000 profit. Now, I know that there's some people that are watching this right now that don't make $35,800 a year or even in a half year. So you might be going, holy cow, how is that possible? It's possible. I get it. Some people don't even make that $35,000 a year. I get it. But literally, I'm going to show you how you can find these properties, sign a purchase contract, and use this contract to sell it and close deals nationally all across the entire country. So here's the thing. Here's another one. 3359 Barrett Road, Akron, Ohio. Contract price $80,950, sold price $97,000, $16,050 profit. Now, what's the two best marketing methods right now? So let's get to some tactics. We're gonna get in, I'm gonna show you exactly what the two best marketing methods are. So we've got the two best ones, I'll go back here, are pay-per-click advertising, right? And we've got strategic direct mail. So that's pay-per-click advertising and strategic direct mail. So let me show you real quick, and I'm gonna take you in to one of our campaigns. Now, this is a Google AdWords campaign. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Google AdWords, let me show you real quick, and let me go to Google real quick here, and I'll show you. Here's Google. Now, what is Google AdWords and how does it work? If you go to Google and you type in sell my house fast. This is a very high converting keyword. Sell my house fast. This right here is an ad. So this guy has an ad sitting right here. And this is an ad, Joe Homebuyers, cashflipthehousenoww.com, right here, sell your house fast, Doug Hopkins, right? The trusted home buyer. So these are all ads. So let me go this one right here, Joe Homebuyer. This is an ad. If I click on this, right here, Joe Homebuyer, Phoenix, Arizona, get a cash offer in 10 minutes, close in 7 days or less, right? This is his website. There's Joe, right here. Scroll down, here's more of Joe. Now what happens is you can click and call this number, right? You can click the call, that's a click the call number. So this is a lead, someone will type in that word, they'll click the call, they'll do it on their mobile phone or the whatever, or they type in the information here and they submit the form and that turns into a lead, right? That turns into a lead. This right here type of marketing, this Google AdWords type of marketing, someone types in a number, and there is thousands and thousands of keywords. This one happens to be a very high converting keyword right here. And then boom, clicks on it and then goes to his website, and that converts into a lead, right? Now, that's what it is. Now, this right here is 24/7 marketing. You get leads 24/7, and these leads are gold. Now, I'm gonna tell you why they're gold. Is because when someone submits a lead and someone calls you, right, you have the ability to ask them this question: what is your asking price? What is your asking price? So these deals I've just showed you are us giving the seller their asking price. We gave them their asking price. Just like, hey, someone wants to have a Tesla stock, they want to sell for 300, what's your asking price? Oh, you want 300? You want cash now? Bam, let's do it. Let's get it done. Sign a contract for 300 shares, right? 300, or 10,000 shares at 300. Bam, you got a contract. Now you secure it. Now you have an option on it. Bam, you sell that contract. Same thing. So you go, let me ask you a question, Mr. Seller. What's your asking price for the property? They go, oh, well, I want $108,000. Okay, great. Let me check. Let me check with my team right here. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, you know, it looks like we can do 108,000. Bam, give them 108,000. Bam, turn around, sell it. Make 16, 15, 18, 29, 30, 40, whatever the number is, right? Now, not every lead's gonna be like that. You know, it's gonna be maybe, 2 and 10, 5, whatever the numbers are, right? Everybody has their own numbers of what happens, but the bottom line is it happens with this type of marketing. You get to ask, what's your asking price? And that's gold. All right, so let me go back here. I'm gonna go back here. This is the behind the scenes on what a campaign looks like. Now, here's a couple campaigns I've got. I got multiple different accounts, multiple different campaigns, but this will just give you an idea. On this particular campaign, account, I've run about $2.195 million through this account right here, okay? About that's a lot of money. On these campaigns right here, I've run about $411,000 over the last 12 months on this campaign. You can see right here, December, there's about 522 clicks of 19. January of 2020, 3,400 clicks. So about a $411,000 in the last year that's generated roughly 12,000 leads. 12,000 leads. So if we look at the numbers right here, 12,091 leads, 12,091 leads divided by 12, that's about 1,000 leads a month. Now, this is excluding our other marketing campaigns that we do, our other campaigns that I'm not even gonna get into yet. There's just some, but look what our average cost per lead is, $27, $44. And this one, I just started this one on a California campaign, just messing with it. But this is what it is. Look at this right here. $27 a lead, $44 a lead, 12,000 leads. Hello? Now, leads come in. Guess what? We turn around and, where's my PowerPoint? We turn around, we talk to them on the phone, right? And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get into the steps that's taken. Now, the next one here, I'm gonna show you real quick, and I gotta make this fast. But I go in here and I go to REI Automator. It's the software platform that we use, right? Software platform that we use to do deals all across the country. Now, let's say if I go to Waco, Texas, and I do a filter on here and I say, okay, they can do vacant properties, liens, pre-foreclosure properties, tax delinquents, my favorite. They got flippers, which we'll talk about here in a second, vacant land. They got zombie properties, tired landlords. These are all great. These are predetermined lists. So here's one of my favorite lists right here. Tax delinquent properties, owner occupied, no, so I have absentee owners, vacant properties, right, in the area with equity, and I'm gonna put in here 50% equity, minimum equity, 50%, right? So it's gonna give me there, right here, this number on the side, come on. It's frozen. Hold on, let me take this out. Let me refresh it. Okay, so let me refresh it. But those right there. Okay, so I'm gonna put in here, I'm gonna put Waco, Texas. I'm gonna put filter. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to tax delinquents. I'm gonna put owner occupied. I'm gonna put vacant right here. Now you go to equity. Now what you do is you put 50% equity, and it will take this list down a couple, like 10, 15, but you get the idea. These are all properties right here. Now what you can do is you can go over here, you can go to campaigns, you can go to postcard, right? And you go next. Right here, you can pick the top performing postcards. I give you actually the top performing postcards. This is one of them right here. You pick this postcard, you press select, and you press send. And within a matter of 2, 3, 4 days, your phone will be ringing off the hook with sellers that are tax delinquent properties, that are vacant, that are motivated sellers in Waco, Texas. Now we do this with markets all across the entire country, and that's just one little lead thing. But that is an idea of how we get leads nationally across the country. We find these little tiny markets. There's no competition. We're not in Atlanta, we're not in Dallas, we're not in Houston, we're not in Vegas, we're not in these big markets across the country. We're in these small little towns like Melbourne, Florida. We just did a $30,000+ deal. Tyler, Texas. We did a $16,000 deal. All these little towns across the country that nobody knows about. There's no competition, and our phone is melting with these cheap little postcards. We sent 118 out here, 200 here, 500 here, and we'll do a big campaign, and bam, our phone melts off the hook. So between those two marketing campaigns, we generate millions and millions of dollars, millions of dollars all across the country. I'm telling you exactly what I do. I'm showing you what I do. Now, I want you to have one guru or dude or education dude on YouTube or Instagram or whatever actually show you what they do. See, I don't believe in competition. I believe in there's more than enough. It's called an abundant mentality. There's more than enough. And I've been teaching now since 2010. And the more I teach, the more I give away, the more abundant mentality that I have, the more that I don't hold back and put the good stuff in a membership site, the more I give, the more success I have. I don't know what it is. But it works for me. Here's another deal, 8510 Colonial Circle, Easton, Maryland. This is a little town outside of Maryland. No one's doing business in, but we are. Contract price $160, sold $187, $27,000 profit. Google AdWords talked about that. Small little markets. Hour and 35 minutes from Dallas, 138,000 population, 57 flippers. I'm gonna get to flippers in a second. Flippers are key to selling the properties, because that's your next question. You get them under contract, but how can you find buyers in these little markets? There's a 5-step process. We've got it down to a science, and I'll show you exactly how we do it. In flippers, if you don't know what flippers are, stick around, because flippers are the key on how to do it. Here's another one right here, 1407 Adams Street, New Albany, Indiana. Have you ever done a deal in New Albany? We've done multiple. Contract price, option price, contract price, $100,500. Sold price, $118,000, $17,500 profit. $17,500 profit. All right, let's keep going. REI Automator, how to find the hottest lists. I showed you that, and how to find the hottest list. The mailing list, I showed you that, right? Those are the hot lists right there. Tax delinquent, single family. Right? You get REI Automator and the marketing right there. You get the postcards. You can pick the postcard. Showed you exactly that, how to do that. Here's another one. Whoa, going too fast. 2246 East Romania Drive, Anaheim, California. Now, Anaheim's a fairly big market, but guess what? This came through marketing, through our online marketing campaigns. right? $500,000, $620,000, $120,000 assignment fee. We assigned this deal to a buyer and pocketed $120,000. There are people that's watching this right now that work the entire year, 60, 70 hours a week to make $120,000 that we can do in less than 20 days. Doing what I'm talking about right now. Now think about this. What if you could scale it, right? What if you could scale it? That's what I'm talking about. All right, how to find buyers. Let's get back to flippers real quick. Now I'm gonna get back to flippers. Now I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna say, what's a flipper? Well, we're gonna go here. Now let's say I'm in Waco, Texas. I'm gonna clear these out, right? And I'm gonna clear these out and I'm gonna go flippers. There's 56 flippers in Waco, Texas. Now these properties right here, and let me define what a flipper is. A flipper is a cash buyer who purchased a property, who has fixed it up and now has listed it on the market. Let me take this one. See, it's a cash sale, right? Now this property is listed on the MLS, and a flipper is what we do, and here's the pictures of the property. I go here, we scroll down, right? Now you can export this data, but now we're gonna call Michelle, the real estate agent. Actually, we're gonna text her. Michelle, the real estate agent. We're gonna text her at her phone number, and we're gonna send her an email about asking her if she has cash buyers for a deep discount property in Waco, Texas. And we're gonna do that, and more times than not, we'll sell the property just off this, what's called the flipper list. That is the flipper list. Now, I can tell you, we have a script that we talk to these agents by it, and we talk to them. And listen, if you ask a real estate agent that represents a cash buyer that had bought a property recently cash, has fixed up and now sold it, and that agent can bring that buyer another smoking deal in Waco, Texas, guess what? That buyer is all over it. That buyer's gonna be all over it. Now, we don't pay it, we don't add a commission in or anything like that. They tack on their commission on top of her price. And working with a real estate agent was one of the best things that we have done because they have a code of ethics. They're not gonna go behind your back. They're not gonna circumvent the deal. Why? Because we'll file a complaint against their broker, we'll file a complaint against the Board of Realtors in that Waco market, and they'll lose their license. They'll lose their license, right? We've only had that happen with one realtor across the country, and now they're not a realtor anymore. So guess what? These realtors play by the rules and they know better, otherwise they'll lose their license. Now, ultimate business model. Let's get into it. Here's the 8-step day trading houses business model. Now, I'm gonna go through these real quick and then I'm gonna get in each one. Selecting the best state and market, right? What's the best market? Then finding, so you pick Texas. Now, what's the best small markets to do deals inside of Texas? The 2 top best ways to find distressed properties, we talked about that. How to strategically make an offer over the phone, there's a 4-step process. Finding the best closing agent, we're gonna talk about that. How to get floods of buyers wanting your property, there's a 5-step process. How to get buyers to sign your contract, how to get them to commit, and how to get paid using no cash, no credit of your own. Now remember, doing this, you don't need funding. You don't need to get a loan. You don't need to borrow money from a friend or a family member or anything. There's no cash needed of your own to buy a property, to fix a property. No one's gonna ask you to fill out an application or a form or a credit check or even a proof of funds. You don't need proof of funds. Can be done in a part-time basis. If you have a job, you can work around your job and do this. Profit can come very quickly. Business can be done from anywhere in the world. Business can be successful in up and down markets. If the market's cranking, you can make a fortune. If the market's declining, you can make a fortune. There are buyers, cash buyers, in any type of market. How do I know? I've been doing this for 17 years. I've done this business model through 2008 in my local market here in Phoenix, and I've done the business model in 2005 in the hottest market, and I've done the business model today, and we're doing deals today. We got closings happening this week, had closings happening next week. Reduce risk by failure of paying for speed. I'm gonna show you how you can pay for speed. So guess what? You don't have to figure everything out yourself. Business can be scaled for unlimited income. Imagine doing deals, $10,000 deals, but doing 50 a month. What's those numbers, right? What if you did 50 a month? What if you did 25 a month? That's 250,000 a month. I know I'm talking big numbers. I know you're probably going, there's no way, it's impossible. You're right. We do it. I showed you proof. Business can be scaled. Business can be started with minimal capital. Now, I'm going to show you some people that have followed what I'm about to show you. I'm going to show you this like proven 8-step process, and I'm going to show you some people that actually have applied this 8-step process, this system that I've laid out for them, and here's some of the results. Now, I want to tell you before I do, all these incomes you're going to hear about, all been real and verified. However, the incomes depict and represent some of the most successful participants, and the majority of individuals earn less, meaning they don't do anything. These figures should not be considered guarantees or projections of your actual earnings or profits. There's no guarantee. The only guarantee is you got to work. It is understood that your success is predicated on your effort, which requires hard work, desire, and diligence. Obviously, we know there's no free lunches, there's no free games, right? I don't want anybody saying that I told you and guaranteed you and you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. We all know there is no push button system that's magically gonna make you money. It's not gonna happen. This is a business just like any other business. It takes time, energy, effort to learn, to make happen. But I have never been involved in a business where I can apply my energy and effort, my willingness to learn, and I don't have to be super smart. I don't have to have a college education. I don't have to have any like requirements. I can just learn more, and I can turn around and I can change and there's unlimited income of what you can do. Again, here's proof. Here's our snapshots of my actual bank account, wires coming in. On the right-hand side, you'll see 148,000. Wire, these are assignment deals, like I'm showing you, 25,000, 120,000, 23, 14, 25, 4,500, 27,000, 1,700, 39, 60. Our average deal size is well over 30, 40,000. I didn't even add up the numbers on there. A lot. Here's another deal, 14450 Northeast 31st Street, J208, Bellevue, Washington, $148,211. That deal, oops, that deal right there closed right there, 1109. Look at that, 148,000. That's the property right there that came in. And I'm going to tell you, the guy called us. We said, what would you like to get for the property? He said $130,000. Actually, it was I think it was $135,000. We gave him $130,789. And we got the deal, and we found a buyer who wanted to live in the property, or not live in the property, but wanted to have the property and use it as a rental. And he's offered $279,000 for the property, and we made that profit. We gave him what he was asking for the property. Now, imagine being cis. I'm almost 1 year into the business, in the real estate investing business. I'm just shy of making $100,000 in wholesale fees my first year, acquired 2 cash flowing properties debt-free, while pregnant with my 5th child, right? And my youngest being 1 year old, planned a dope-ass real estate conference the same time, my first of many. I know some folks reading this, there ain't no way. I learned a lot in this course. I go through the information, take massive action. Shout out to Sean Terry for providing invaluable, life-changing information. So I look at her, I just want to give her a shout out. She's amazing. First off, she's done all that with 5 children. So I'm like, what is my excuse, right? What is my excuse? Well, if you have 5 children planning an event, buying two. I mean, people are amazing. Here's another one, Anwar. He says, this quick motivation for anybody still looking to do their first deal, one of the easiest wholesale deals I've ever done. Between a few texts, conversation, all in all, it took the deal roughly 5 hours. From contract to close, $13,148.17. An hour. That check right there is for $65,741. Took them 5 hours to do. And establish your network, build credibility, know the numbers, stay persistent. It all started with Flip 2 Freedom Academy. That's the Flip 2 Freedom. And obviously that's my brand, Flip 2 Freedom. So, hey, Corey. This is Corey Chelsea. She's been working this for years. He sent over this check right here, $12,000. That's incredible. Here's Monica. Hey, Chelsea. I know it's been a while, but I'm circling back to say thank you to Sean Terry again. Last week, closed on another deal. Bam, $70,633. Now, you got to listen to a couple of these videos because it's better hearing it from actually a live person. And then we've got our 8 steps. I'm going to go in detail. I'm going to show you each step by step. Here we go.
This video goes out to Sean Terry. Okay, Sean, you don't know me. You will one day. But holy crap, man. I got so much information from you, which launched my business. I literally just closed my first deal last week. I'll tell you about it. And I made $35,000. And I have to attribute my success to hard work, to pushing through fear, and the information that I got from you, man. Like, holy crap. Thank you. So I got this deal by way of door knocking. And you know, I was in kind of like a financial bind. I was Ubering during the day, working on my business, Ubering during the morning, working on my business during the afternoon, and then Ubering at night, like on the super hustle. So I gathered and mustered up all the little courage I had inside, and I made a list, and I knocked on the door, and then the owner came, and I just was myself, and I would just let him know, listen, I'm here to help you. And next thing you know, I had that bad boy under contract, and I freaked out. And I was like, oh my God, what's next? Like, I forgot all my training. What do I do? And then I had that thing under contract literally in about less than a day. And the buyer was amazing. And don't get me wrong, the starting point to the ending point to the closing was like being locked in a dryer on high. Okay, I was going down a hill wearing skates and speed bumps along the way. Okay, because I was getting beat up. But I have learned so very much along the way, that I'm extremely grateful for. So this will be almost a $40,000 month for me, and there is no way I will have another month that is not equal or better. So thank you so much, Sean. You the man. I know we're gonna meet one day, and I look forward to it. And I just wanted you to know that I'm forever grateful. Thank you so much for all that you do. Keep it going, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Bye.
Hi, my name is Misha. I am the owner of Breaking Boundaries Investments. I bought the Flip to Freedom program in February of this year, and I got my first deal around May of this year, and I've really just been taking off ever since then. The program was extremely easy. Sean Terry broke everything down to a way that I can understand it. I really didn't understand wholesaling in the beginning, so it was amazing to have someone to actually be able to sit you down and kind of break down the basics of wholesaling. I really loved his seller course. It kind of gave me an outlook on how to verbally speak with sellers as far as their different type of situations and the different type of ways I can acquire the properties, but also at the same time help them out. I suggest anybody that don't have that much in funds, I really suggest that you get the Flip to Freedom program, because it literally changed my business and my life. Just because you don't get that for that type of price nowhere, period. Point blank, period. Like, literally, all of his negotiation techniques I use. I still use his being able to read personality types and things like that. Like, I still use all of that to this day. I still use different course materials and things like that. It really just kind of got me on the right track. So anybody that's thinking about getting the program, I can promise you 100% that it's worth every penny.
Hey, this is Russell Walker from Chicago, Illinois. Just wanted to do a testimonial for Sean Terry. Got started in wholesaling real estate about eight years ago, and it started from one of his books, actually, and his free podcast. I did a couple deals just from listening to his podcast, reading his book, and 8 years later, I still study his courses. I still listen to his podcast. I still have, buy his new courses that he has, and we do about 20 transactions a month in the Chicago, Illinois area, and you can check us out, Best Chicago Wholesale Deals in the Chicago area. And I just want to thank Sean T for his motivation. The mindset thing was probably the biggest thing. Listening to his podcast was huge in order to get where I'm at today. So I appreciate you, Sean T. Sean Terry, thank you for everything you provided, and I can't thank you enough for everything, man. Thank you. God bless.
All right, some incredible success stories from people right there. Just amazing. They absolutely loved what we did, sent in their videos, and I thought I'd share it with you. And they followed the program, and they've got results. So let's get into it. I'm gonna blow through this super, super quick. I am limited on time right now, so let me go. All right, step one. How to select the best state. So what we do is we look at rent value ratio, appreciation, and cash buyer activity in that specific market. So I'm just gonna give you the top 9 cities. We have top 20 cities we've done this analysis on. But these are the cities, right, in these specific markets, but we don't market in these cities. We market in cities around these small little towns around, like Waco, Texas. We're not hitting Dallas, we're hitting Waco, because Waco is outside here and the buyers are buying in Waco and in Dallas. So we don't want to hit Dallas because everybody and the brother and it's competitive. So all these markets that I'm going to show you, Dallas, Denver, Miami, Houston, Atlanta. Now Houston, or actually I think it's Austin, or maybe it's Houston. I think there's Fresno is either outside of Austin or Houston. I can't remember which one. It's one of those. But we are a little tiny market outside of a major market that we got. So the deal is to target a smaller market with at least 20,000 population outside of these major markets. Now, we pick a small market. This one right here in Waco is about an hour and 35 minutes, 138,138 population, 57 flippers. All these small little markets outside. Now look at, you have Corcasina, you've got Mexia, you've got all these little towns, like all these towns outside here have properties that are potential deals. Now, my marketing method, I went into it. I showed you Google AdWords. I showed you the direct mail, the strategic direct mail. It's exactly what we do to get the phone to ring with sellers that we can ask this question. What's your asking price? Right? If they give you asking price, then you know. Step 4, here is the 4-step process to close over the phone. Number 1, we do a deep dive with the seller. We find out about their rapport. We build out rapport. We find out about the house. We find out their first asking price. Then we're going to get into repairs, about the property in detail, about the roof, about the condition. When was it last updated? Does it look like HGTV pictures? Probably not. The roof hasn't been updated since 1969, right? So we're getting into the roof, all that information. Then we're going to get into the second asking price. And we're going to say a question like this. So let me ask you a question, Mr. Seller. If we pay cash and we close quickly on your timeline, and we pay for all the repairs, and we pay for all the closing costs, a couple $1,000s in closing costs. We pay for all the fees, and it's hassle-free, and you can get this done. What's the minimum cash you would take for the property, assuming it's a net number to you? Now, what's gonna happen, you got the first asking price is initially what they're asking, then they're gonna drop down to a second asking price. That number should drop fairly significantly. Then from that point, we go into what's called the set. The set, we set the appointment, and we set the appointment to get back on the phone in about 30 minutes. And what we'll do is say, listen, Mr. Seller, what we gotta do is, I gotta talk to my underwriter, I gotta talk to my partner, I gotta talk to my boss, I'm gonna pull up some numbers, and I'm gonna figure out the best, highest cash offer we can come up with on your property. I'm just gonna do a little bit of due diligence, but can I get you on the phone back here in 30 minutes in front of your computer, and then we can go through all the details. Okay, great. I'm gonna call you back at 2:35, and we'll get back on the phone. Just be by your phone. I'm gonna call you back so we can go through all the information. Now, again, prior to that, in the first call, you're doing what's called trial closes. A trial close is saying, let me ask you a question, Mr. Seller. If we can come to a terms and we can come to price, are you ready to move forward on selling your property today, right? That's called a trial close. If you get a trial close and a trial close is, yeah, hey, you know, I'm trying to get rid of this property. If you can give me a terms and price and then we agree on everything, yeah, I'm ready to get this done today. That's a trial close. You get a yes on a trial close, then you know you can get the deal done today. We do one call closes, or I mean one call. So we do an initial call set and a second call, and that close, we get those contracts, the lead comes in, we get it in and signed today. Now, if someone goes, hey, you know, I'm just beginning of the process. I'm just starting. Got to talk to a couple other people. Say, great. Now you're going to give them a ballpark number, and you're going to follow up with them. You're not going to try to hammer close them today, and you're not going to give them a signed contract or a contract ready today. You're going to follow up with those type of people and really keep in front of them. But the people that are trial closed, that are ready to go right now and get it done, you can get those contracts signed in one day. So the next thing is researching and doc prep. So you do your set, then you do your research and your doc prep. So you research all the information about the property, you figure out all the comps, figure out what you can sell it for, figure out your max allowable offer for the property, and then you create your document, you get your document signed, and we put it in DocuSign, and we'll actually send it out to the seller prior to getting on the phone. Like right before you send, you press send, or you get them on the phone, you pick them up, they pick up the phone, you press send, and now they have the contract in their inbox. Now we've got the close. Now we're gonna close them over the phone, and we have a specific process and scripts and closing questions, which I love the alternate choice close the best. But if you get a trial close, then you can get the actual close and you can get the deal done. So this is what our team does. We've been doing this and it works. We have it down to a science where seller calls in, we bring them through a process and we get the contract. So here's the closing agents, right? Closing agents. So remember, what we do is a seller calls in from our marketing. They call in, right? They call in from Google AdWords or direct mail. They give us a call, right? We talk to them, we go through a 4-step process, we get the contract signed. That's good, we got the contract signed. What do we do with it now? What are we gonna do? How are we gonna do? Well, we gotta send it to a closing agent, a national title company that will handle all the paperwork, they'll handle all the money, they'll handle everything, title report, everything, handle all the paperwork. So what we do, and here's our closing companies. We got WFG, Clothesline Settlements, and Fidelity National Title. Those are the three big title companies that we use nationally. We get them the contract, they pull the title report, and they handle all the paperwork and they handle all the money. Now, finding cash buyers. We have a 5-step process to finding cash buyers. We pull all the flippers from REI Automator. We pull the first 3 pages off of Realtor.com to locate thousands of realtors that represent buyers in these small little markets. Now, if you go to Realtor.com and you go on there to find an agent, you type in Waco, Texas, you're gonna have hundreds and hundreds of realtors. Guess what? I have one person on my team, his name's Baylor, and what he does is he pulls lists, right? from Realtor.com, from REI Automator, right? And what we do is we use multiple different texting platforms, and we text these agents saying this: hey, we have a smoking off-market, below-market deal, off-market deal in Waco, Texas for an investor buyer. Do you have any buyers? Question mark. They respond back, then we'll get them on the phone and we'll talk to them. That's how we sell all of our properties in little tiny markets across the country. We send them a text, they respond back, oh yeah, I have some buyers, right? Now, think you got a flipper, which is an agent who represents a buyer. Send them and say, hey, you know what, do you have any buyers in Waco, Texas? And this guy just represented a guy that fixed and flipped a house. And they're going, yeah, I got buyers. And we get them back on the phone and say, hey, we got a smoking deal. I've got 2 people that all they do is text and book appointments for showings on these houses all day long. All day long. Now we have scripts on what they say to realtors. We have scripts on what they say to the sellers to get them in. We get scripts to say to the sellers so they know what to talk about and what's happening with the people coming in to do walkthroughs. Everything's all planned, set up, and done, and you don't have to figure it out. Now, step 7. Arrange a showing with your buyers, right? So what we do is it's not really a showing, we call it a walkthrough, right? And we set up a 30-minute open house. If we get a bunch of people interested, like we've got some places in certain markets where we get 10, 15, 20 people that want to see a house, we'll schedule a 30-minute like open house type of thing, and we'll get, 5 or 6 or 7 people there through at a time, and it goes into a bidding war on these properties. Step 8, getting paid using these 2 funding strategies. The most of the deals we do is what's called an assignment. Now, an assignment is this contract right here, is where you take this contract right here. This is an assignment contract, and you fill it out, and what happens is it allows you to sell, assign means sell this contract for a price. You get to sell your contract for a price, right? 10,000, 15,000, 100,000, 37,000, whatever the number might be. You sell your contract for the price, and those title companies know exactly what to do. So this is the 8-step process. This is exactly what you do to go through that. Now, imagine following this 8-step process. Like the people I showed you, you can do deals all across the country, right? If you want to be in the beach in Florida and you want to do deals, you can. You can work remote. My entire staff, I have a big office here, right? But my entire staff works from home. My team works from home. There are solopreneurs that do this all across the country. There's people in Canada that flip houses in the United States. We got people in Australia. I got a lady in Israel, I just got off the phone with here, that are flipping houses in the United States, doing deals in the United States, and she's in Israel, right? From all over the country. So imagine have the freedom to come and go as you want, to make unlimited money as you want, be able to do deals all across the country, helping sellers liquidate their properties, to create liquidity for these properties, help them solve a problem. Now, imagine the unlimited money that you can make to do what you want with who you want, when you want. Now, some people like toys. Some people want to have a lot of toys and a lot of cool stuff. But people just want to have a ton of cash in the bank. I'm kind of both, right? I test drove this car about a month and a half ago, and I had to get it. It was the sickest car on the planet. It was a Porsche Taycan Turbo. Just Google it, Porsche Taycan Turbo. It's the fastest production car on the planet, 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds, and it's an electric, first of its kind electric Porsche, and there's only 6 of them in Arizona, right? I test drove it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta have this car. It's amazing, amazing car. And I'm not really a toy type of person, but that car is pretty darn fun. But it's cool to be able to, okay, I'll take it. You know what I mean? It's cool to be able to do that. And it's not because I'm anything great at all. I'm nothing special. I don't have any talent, right? I was a CD student in high school. I can tell you, I wasn't a great athlete. I was a U.S. Marine, and I wasn't even great as a Marine. I wasn't like this top dude in the Marine Corps. What's great about this is the harder you work, the more success you have. right? The harder you work. And here's the thing, I can tell you right now, my team is probably better than me, right? I mean, they're incredible. My team is incredible and they get paid incredibly well. They love what they do. And we have a blast. We have so much fun. Imagine doing deals from anywhere in the world, being completely, absolutely mobile. So imagine successfully completing, what if you just did one, say 5,000 deal a month? That's $60,000 a year. What if you did three $10,000 deals a month? That's $30,000 a month. Or imagine running a business where you get serious about it, you wanted to bring on some people, you got a sales guy and someone selling the properties, getting the properties, did some marketing, and you wanted to get dead serious about it. I'm working with a group out of Austin right now, these two young kids that are in their 20s that have a whole sales team of people, and they're killing it, doing hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in revenue, killing it. Now remember, no experience needed, no credit check ever, no funding to purchase real estate, no funding for renovations, no contractors needed, no real estate license needed, no meeting the seller face-to-face, no need to look at the property, no technical computer skills required, no need for traditional brick and mortar. It can be done on a part-time basis. Profit can come quickly. Can be done anywhere in the world, meaning you can be anywhere in the world, but doing deals in the United States. Business can be successful. Business can be scaled to unlimited income, and business can be started with minimal capital. And the best thing is, you can reduce risk by paying for speed, meaning you have the ability to get the entire thing laid out in this course called Remote Millions 2.0. This is Remote Millions 2.0. It's the brand new, off-the-shelf, updated, fresh content that shows you exactly the cutting-edge strategies to confidently do 1 to 2 deals per month remotely using none of your own cash or credit. It's a total immersion, interactive, hands-on, 4-week masterclass in high-quality video, audio, production, where you can go in and you can download the audio, you can watch the video, and we break down specifically how to find sellers. Here's the campaigns, here's exactly what we do, and all the scripts, and all the contracts, and what to say. We got live recordings in there of us talking to sellers and exactly what to say. It is a complete laid out course. I've had more people tell me that this is the best course on the planet that they've ever seen. Now, it's a virtual wholesaling masterclass. Now, I'm going real quick. Week 1, basically what you do is week 1 is understanding the process of marketing. How to get sellers to call you so you can ask them what's your asking price. Week 2 is all about understanding how to make the offer over the phone, the closing process, how to overcome any objections, how to get the contract signed over the phone. Then it's how to find buyers, the 5-step process to find buyers. What do you do? How do you get the list? Where do you get the list? Specifically, step by step. And then we go through in detail how to get the properties closed. And then we have a whole library of success stories that we have students from actual successful students that we've interviewed and had them share their best of their best strategies and content for doing this particular business model. Now, the retail value on this is $997. Okay, $997 is the retail value. Remote Millions 2.0 actually should be much, much more than that, but stay with me here because of where we are in this moment right now in time, I'm gonna give you a ridiculous deal, so stick around real quick. So, part of this Remote Millions comes REI Automator, the software. Right? There's an activation fee if you just buy it outside of Remote Millions is $897, and the first month access is $97 a month for the data. You get 10,000 records a month to be able to pull records and pull the information, 10,000 records a month for $97. So first month access free, activation $897 is waived, and that's bonus number 1. So that's $1,991 in value Plus, you get bonus number 2. I personally get on the phone or on a live with you for every other week. Every other week. Now, we have limited spots because I can't have so many people on. The last call I did went over 2 hours because I was answering questions with people, and there's only so many people we can have on before I'm gonna be on for 48 hours straight answering questions for people. But I get down there and try to answer every question I possibly can. But I have been doing that since 2011. I love it because I get to meet you on the through Facebook or Facebook Lives we do, answer questions, share stuff, talk about stuff, and really have. The last call was amazing. That's a $29.97 value. So all that $4,998 value for that. Plus, we have our live event coming up at the soon. Our live event's coming up very soon. You'll get an email with a schedule of when it's coming up, but you will get 2 free tickets to our next live event that we have coming up. All you got to do is book your room and book your air. Prove that obviously you're coming, so we don't save a seat for nothing because we have limited seating. We have to social distance and do all that type of stuff, so we got to make sure you're coming. But for the next event that's coming up in 2021, you will have tickets to it. You can just reach out to Chelsea, and she can get you registered for the tickets. Now, it also comes with a 5-day pre-recorded intensive. I did a 5-day where I walked people through each step of the course, and that is also in the Remote Millions 2.0. You have access to that. So all this right here, Remote Millions, all this stuff, and the software, and the weekly calls, and the tickets, and the coaching implementation, $10,382. Plus, I got a couple unannounced bonus. All my contracts, forms, scripts updated for 2020, 2021, 2022. Announcement bonus, bi-weekly deal or no deal. So let's say you have a deal every other week. The weeks that I'm not on, Brandon is my right-hand man. He was a COO of my company for about 5 years. He gets on a call every other week and does what's called deal or no deal. You bring your property, and he'll show you how to comp it, what to offer, what the retail value is, and show you exactly what he's doing so you can learn how to do it yourself. That's a $1,990 value. Plus, you have access to our private members-only Facebook group. We have thousands and thousands of members in the group. It's an incredible community. It's awesome. It's a $997 value. So all this right here, all this, Remote Millions 2.0, $997 for the course, access to RAI Motivator software. I get on the call every other week, $299.97. Tickets to Extreme Freedom for the next coming year. 5 coaching for the 5-day coaching implementation package. All the price forms and spreadsheet, bi-weekly live deal or no deal. Access to the members-only Facebook group, $13,873 value. So what I did is I asked previous members of the Remote Millions, I said, what do you think it was worth to you? Most said in the survey, asking them, it's worth $4,997. It's literally a private, almost like coaching program, business model where I made millions of dollars. I'm showing you exactly mapped out exactly what to do. Then I get on the phone with you every 2 weeks. Then my right-hand guy gets on the phone with you on the other 2 weeks. So you have unbelievable amounts of support, training, education, hand-holding. The lowest someone said, and was embarrassed to say it, was $19.97. So when we talked about it, should we price it $4,997? No, we're not gonna price it $4,997. $1,997. No, we're gonna price it at that. The retail price of $997, should we do that? We said, no, we're not gonna price it at $1,997. We have right now a limited quantity that we are releasing right now for half off the price. Now, there's a limited quantity, right, that we're doing this because I went with my partners at REI Automator, and I went with them and I said, listen, I wanna waive the license fee and I wanna waive the first month. If we do that, can you work with me? And they said, yes, we'll do it for a limited amount of licenses. And so we're basically giving you a coupon code called Remote50. All you got to do is go to GetRemoteMillions.com, GetRemoteMillions.com. 50% off for a limited time and a limited quantity, only $498.50. You can also use PayPal credit if you choose. PayPal will actually give you credit to purchase this if you want, but $498.50 you get access to this. So, or it's a 3-pay of $197.50. I want to give you absolutely no excuse not to get started with Remote Millions. Now, you get a 100% money back, no questions, guarantee. If you don't believe it's the absolute best thing that's hit the planet, then all you got to do is hit Chelsea up at help@flip2freedom.com. And say, hey, you know what? It wasn't for me, and she will refund your money. So you got two different options. Either A, you can try to figure it out yourself. You can try to figure out the scripts. You can try to figure out the offers. You can try to figure out the 4-step process. You can try to figure out how to sell the properties. You can try to figure out how to do it without the software. How much time and money will you lose trying to figure it out yourself? Testing campaigns, not knowing what to say to a seller, not knowing what to offer or how to calculate repairs over the phone, not knowing how to sell at the highest price possible, or being unorganized and losing deals, or trusting the wrong people that steal the deal behind you, structuring the wrong deal with maybe a partner or something on the ground that you're working with, valuing the property wrong, or not knowing how to get paid. Any one of these will cost you a ton of time and a ton of money because you're trying to figure out the business model yourself. Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity. What if the perfect deal comes to you tomorrow, right? And the perfect deal comes and it's a great deal, it's below market, you don't know what to say to get it under contract, you don't know the price to offer, you don't know what contract to use, you don't know exactly what to do, and it was a $100,000 deal. It was a $50,000 deal. But because you didn't know what you're doing, you lost that opportunity. See, that's what happens when you see, now I planted the business model. This is exactly what you do and how to do it. Now, imagine Anwar again. Look at him on here. He's turned around and got some great checks right here, $15,000 checks. Here's Christopher Kennedy, another closed deal, $5,500 profit. He's happy. Anthony Price wires into his account, boom, $40,847. Here's another one from Anthony Price coming on in, which is great. PPC campaign, $34,220. All you got to do is go to GetRemoteMillions.com, GetRemoteMillions.com, put in the coupon code. Listen, when the coupon code will expire, when we hit our internal limit, our internal quantity limit on how many people we're allowing in the Get Remote Millions based upon the licenses. We're working with the software providers. So the bottom line is go to Get Remote Millions right now, GetRemoteMillions.com. Only $498.50. So, frequently asked questions. 1, what if I'm a Flip to Freedom product owner already? Well, obviously this is a different product. So it's just like, you know, if Apple comes out with an iPhone, then they come out with EarPods, right? Then, you know, you don't get a discount because you're an Apple customer. It is a discount right there. All you got to do is use the coupon code Remote50. Can I do this in my state or small town? Yes, it's great in small states, or it's great in states and small towns. It doesn't matter where you're in because you can do deals all across the country. How much startup capital do I need to get started? Well, the bottom line is you can get started, right? And there are free methods to generate, there are paid methods, and there are cheap methods to generate motivated seller leads. We cover that inside the training. So if you had, you know, could get started, you can use your sweat capital to get started to start generating motivated seller leads. Or if you do have a budget that you can start working and send some postcards or do some online campaigns, that helps out as well. Now, I can tell you when I first got started, I hand wrote letters from my kitchen table and I sent out 25 letters a day. I got my first deal, second deal, and I turn around and I reinvested back into marketing, and you can scale it that way. What if I need help or a question? We have Chelsea. She's like Apple-like support. She's incredible at help at Flip to Freedom, or you can call her phone number during work hours, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Or we have a membership group that's amazing. You can get your question answered. Or we have every week we get on a call where you can get questions answered. I heard that some states don't allow wholesaling. That's only Illinois, which you have to have a real estate license. Are these stories real? Absolutely, they're real, people. Come out to our live event, Extreme Freedom Live event, and you will meet people. We'll have them up on stage telling their stories, what they do and how they do it, and it will be very real for you. How long before I get my first check? I've seen people get their first check in a matter of weeks, and I've seen people take 4 months to get their first check. It depends on how many people you talk to, how many offers you make, and it depends on you. How much time does it take? You know, if you want to do this on a part-time basis, you can do this. You can work 10, 15 hours a week on a part-time basis talking to sellers, or you can go full-time and bust your butt and put a lot of time and energy into it. Do what you can do right now. The thing is, if you're working a job, you can do this part-time as a part-time hustle. If it takes you 2 months to do a deal and you make $10,000, well, guess what? You can just put that away, and then you can reinvest maybe $1,000 into marketing, and it just gets a little bit easier after that. Can you do this in Canada? So we don't do deals specifically in Canada, but if you do deals, say theoretically, like if you're in Canada and you want to do deals in the United States, you can. So I teach how to do deals in the United States, but anywhere in the world, if you live there in the world and you want to do deals in the US, you can. What if I'm a real estate agent? Can I do this? Yes, you can do this. Just make sure you clear it with your broker, and you have to disclose that you're a real estate agent on your contracts. What if I'm not computer savvy? That's fine. Most of the information is very easy to do. We have tons of people that are not computer savvy that have no problem with this course. Do I need to line up funding to do this? No, there's no funding. You don't have to line up funding to do this. It's all done with an assignment fee, assignment contract, and the title companies we work with know exactly how to do this. So go to GetRemoteMillions.com, GetRemoteMillions.com. Let me take you there real quick. If you go there and you go to Get Remote Millions, you'll land on this page right here, right? And on this page right here, you put your name, information, billing address, city, state, postal code, right? And you can press PayPal for PayPal credit, right? You can do that. PayPal for PayPal credit. And you can do PayPal right here, or you do credit card. And you got PayPal credit, so you can, what PayPal credit is they'll give you credit, and then you can buy now and pay later, which is pretty cool. And you can, I think you can click on here, which opens PayPal, or you can do it right through here. So if you look in here, it says, do you have a coupon? Now, when you type in your coupon, remote 50, now this little arrow will come up right here. Now, if the coupon works, if we haven't hit our internal number, then this will give you 50% off at $498.50, okay? 50% off. Now, if you put it in remote 50, which is right here, remote 50, this is the coupon code. Obviously, this will go away once we hit our number. It'll be $997 thereafter. So whenever that happens, so if you're waiting or you want to thinking about it or want to decide for it, I wouldn't wait too long, because we will, I know we have a limited amount left after doing this, so go to Get Remote Millions, put in the coupon code, hopefully it works, and you'll get your discount. Now, if you want to do a 2-pay, you can still do remote 50 right here, put that, and then it will do $197.50. You do one now and then 2 more payments of $197.50. So that's for the 3-pay, and that is GetRemoteMillions.com, GetRemoteMillions.com. So get started, get signed up, and let me leave you with this, right? This is the best business model on the planet. I've been doing this for 17 years. I've been real estate investing for 17 years, and I have never seen something like this. And what is about to come here with this real estate default tsunami is insane. But the bottom line is this: it all comes down to a decision. Life comes down to a decision, and Tony Robbins said that. And you think about it, it's true. Making a decision. And I'll tell you, when I first got started, right, I remember I was, handwriting letters, and I was knocking on pre-foreclosure doors. And I went and knocked on a door, pre-foreclosure door, my first door. At the time I was broke, I was living month to month, I was dissatisfied with what I was doing. And I knocked on the door, and I literally was like, I had my little clipboard in my hand. I was going to say, hi, could I help you with your foreclosure, with your house before it goes to foreclosure? That's what I wanted to say. I rehearsed it in my head. I rehearsed it out loud. I got up to the door, and this big dude came to the door, and he's like bald, and he's all sweating. This is May of 2003, and he goes, what do you want? Right? And he yelled at me, and I'm like, oh, and he kind of caught me off guard, and I was like, you want to help with your, and I didn't know what to say. And I literally tripped over myself, and I couldn't get it out. I turned around, and I hightailed it back to my car. And I remember thinking, I felt defeated. I'm like, what a loser. I couldn't even get my words out. What an idiot. And I remember thinking, and knocking on doors is not an easy thing to do, but I remember I got in my car, and I was living month to month. I was broke, and I was like in between, like I was going to pool appointments, and then I was going knocking on doors. And I was like, I can't do this, man. I quit. I cannot do this. There's no way. I can't knock on all these. I can't. First door I knocked on. And I'm like, I quit. Because I didn't have it. And then I thought to myself, what if I don't do this? I'm 33 years old. I'm like directionless. I'm living month to month. I'm broke. I'm so sick of being broke. I was like, what if I don't do this? And it came down to the point for me, and I'm like, you know what? I was so sick of being in where the situation I was in. There was more pain of staying where I was at instead of trying to figure it out. And right then I made a decision. I made this decision. I said, you know what? I'm going to continue knocking on doors. I'm going to continue finding a way. I'm going to continue trying to find sellers. I'm going to do whatever I can do. I don't care if I have to wake up early. I don't care if I have to do it on weekends. I don't care if I have to knock on 1,000 doors before I found some. I'm going to do this. And I got a determination. I got a resolve. I've got a decision. And some of you that are watching this right now have never come to that point of decision where I'm going to do something no matter what it takes. And what happens when you do that and you make that decision, something happens in the universe. The universe all of a sudden goes, okay, he's serious, and it gets out of the way. Because before, if you go, I'm going to try it, I'm going to see what happens, I'm going to dabble with it. No. When you make a decision, you're going to do it no matter what. Things line up. People line up. Leads line up. The right seller lines up. Deals line up because you have a resolve and you make a decision. Here's the thing. You're watching me right now, and you've been with me this amount of time, that you're at that decision point. You're at a crossroad right now. Here is decision point. Make a decision. And if you decide to go my way, the Remote Millions way, the new way, the different way, the business model way, or you have a decision to go the same way you've always gone. The same old, the old way. What you've already done, what you're comfortable with. And if you want to know where this decision is going to end up, look where you were 3 years ago. What kind of car were you driving? What kind of lifestyle were you living? What type of health were you in? What type of life do you have? And if nothing has changed over the last 3-4 years, or maybe it's got worse, it's time to make a change. But I can guarantee you this. If you make a decision to go the Remote Millions way, the Flip to Freedom way, the Sean Terry way, and you go this way, this path with me, I guarantee that not only will it make a difference in your life, but that, you know what? If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm crazy, if you get into it, you don't think it's the best thing ever, then you have a guarantee to get your money back. So you have absolutely nothing to lose. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. But what if I'm right? What if this is the best thing ever? What if it is? And what if you just let it slip through your hands? Don't get so busy. Stop what you're doing right now. Don't get so busy and say, oh, I'm going to do it later. That's procrastination. Successful people don't procrastinate. What happens is, I'm going to do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next month. I'm going to bookmark it. I'll put it down. No. Do it now. Get it done now. Dive in now. Opportunities are never lost. They just go to somebody else. And I don't want your opportunity to go to somebody else. Now is the time. Your life is on the line. Success is for you in the grasp. And I was the exact same way. I don't have any special talent, special abilities. And I can tell you right now, I am probably one of the only people that you'll see out there, gurus on YouTube talking about these type of products and stuff, that actually does what they say and teach. I'm one of the only ones. I'm one of the only ones that actually runs a full-time business, and I do education. Most people, they don't do real estate because they haven't figured it out, or they have a family, friends, or whatever does it. So the bottom line is, you're in the right place at the right time. Now it's time to step up, make a decision, and go for it. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So I will see you on the next coaching call, where I get to answer your questions, encourage you, talk about properties, talk about what's going on, talk about success, talk about life, talk about the market, keep up to date of what's happening, and going out there and crushing it together. So have an incredible day, have an incredible evening, wherever you are in the country. Thank you for spending your time, your precious time with me. It's greatly appreciated. So go out there and crush it, and God bless.